So this moving away from some of the craziness that we see, I think you probably experience more conversations in this space by virtue of what you do. Just how crazy is it in some of these public schools? Like you see accounts like Libs of TikTok, posting these just kind of mind-blowing videos. Like just how prevalent is this stuff? Just how pervasive is this woke ideology and how it's sneaking into our education system?
I think it is, and this is an answer coming from someone who is not in a public school classroom on a day-to-day basis. So take what I'm about to say
Yeah.
with a grain of salt. My read is that it is less universal than it would appear if you spent 5 minutes scrolling through libs of TikTok, but it is more pervasive than one would want to believe.
Mm.
Um, I have heard so many stories from parents saying, I discovered that this X, Y, or Z thing was happening in my classroom. Or maybe X is the person we're talking about. I don't know. Like it's, there's like, we have a pronouns chart up on my kid's classroom, and we walked in and we said, what is this? My child's like 6. Why is this here? I think that it's the momentum of what's happening has accelerated quite a bit over the past few years. I think a lot of people don't realize it. Like I graduated from high school in 2015. When I walk into a schooling environment, like a high school environment in 2023, I am shocked by how different the cultural feeling is. Like you take out all of the sort of instructional side of it, for lack of a better word. Like, nobody's saying a word about anything, any of the woke stuff that Libs of TikTok posts about. Just the feeling of the culture, the way kids interact with each other, the words they use, the way that they dress, the way they do their hair, just like the cultural milieu is so different from what it was 8 years ago. And I think if you're not in it on a day-to-day basis, it's very easy to miss the fact that it's changed dramatically. I think a lot of people don't realize just how different the culture is and the touchstones for the culture, like the things that are normal to make jokes about and not normal to make jokes about, and the things that it's normal to say are weird versus to just think, no, that's just like, it's normal. It's just self-expression. The goalposts have shifted dramatically. And I think it varies a lot by region on a national level. So something in rural Texas is going to be very different from something in Portland.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it infiltrates even non-traditional schools, like even in places that you would think are kind of sheltered from it, like a Montessori school somewhere. It still crops up.
Yeah.
So it's become very omnipresent.
Yes.
Even if it's just an undercurrent.
Yeah. I was surprised actually to hear some of the rules attempted to be implemented by things like Waldorf schools, which are Steiner philosophy driven. And, when they started to coerce themselves into some of these norms, it was just a big red flag, because you're like, this is the antithesis of that entire system. But it's supposed to be. Yeah. And that's kind of sad, Hello friends, if you enjoyed that clip, then you can watch the entire thing by heading to this link over here, or you can find us wherever you find podcasts by searching Radical Health Radio. If there's value here, please hit that like button, let us know in a comment what your biggest takeaway was, and hit subscribe, support the show as we support you. We'll see you soon.